What it do, what it do, what it do? Welcome back to the channel, baby.
Yeah.
What it do, what it do, what it do, Half and J family. Welcome back to the channel, baby.
Yes.
It's your boy Half.
And your girl Jay.
And we back
With another reaction video.
All right, y'all. Happy Friday to everybody out there.
Yes, happy Friday.
You feel me? Hope everybody enjoying their weekend or the start of their weekend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hope you guys enjoying it the best as you can. We got some good news coming for y'all very soon. So
Very soon.
stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? Keep those post notifications on because I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this one.
You're not. You're not.
I'm telling you, for real.
You're not.
For real, for real.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, let them know who we're going to react to today, sweetie.
We are reacting to Sowel.
Thomas Sowell. I like Thomas Sowell.
Yes.
And the commentary is?
This is what they don't teach you about colonization.
About colonization. Well, let's see what this is. He's very interesting.
Colonization, huh?
He's very interesting
Yeah.
gentleman. So,
Yeah.
let's see what he got to talk about, man. But before we do, everybody that's out there who have not yet subscribed to the channel,
Yes.
bam, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
Turn your post notifications on.
Yes.
Like and share this video.
Hey, yes.
And comment down below, baby.
Yes.
Come and
Come
join the squad,
on.
man.
Come
Half
on,
and
you
J.
might as well.
We over here kicking
Kicking
off.
off
What?
Good vibes, baby. Good vibes.
Boom!
Boom! Oh! You know what?
Boom.
Don't do that.
Let's get it, man.
Thomas Sowell is one of the greatest philosophers of our time, yet he isn't even mentioned among the 100 most influential African Americans in Ebony magazine. To help more people learn about him, please consider liking this video and subscribing. To get useful materials about Dr. Thomas Sowell, please visit the website. Thank you and let's begin.
Well, you link wealth creation to the acquisition of skills and the employment of skills in a disciplined way, and also in a frugal way in terms of lifestyles. But others would attribute the generation of poverty, the obverse of wealth, to colonialism, imperialism, exploitation, economic exploitation. How do you handle those arguments?
Well, insofar as those arguments are meant seriously, you can simply look at evidence. Insofar as they're purely political arguments, they're saying what people want to hear. Obviously, there are people who would much rather hear that than to hear the other, because if you think that's the problem, then there's not only a quicker solution, but there's a more emotionally and morally satisfying solution. Namely, you fight against the exploiters and so on. If you look at the third world, for example, those parts of the third world where the imperialist powers have come in have typically been the more advanced parts of it. They've been the most prosperous ones. Even if they weren't prosperous before they got there, they became the more prosperous parts. Those parts of the third world that the imperialists have never touched are, almost without exception, the very poorest places on this earth.
So you don't find any explanation for poverty and colonialism? The reverse, perhaps?
Oh, absolutely. When the Romans, for example, invaded the British Isles, they conquered the southern part of Britain, but they never conquered Scotland. And for centuries thereafter, perhaps for 1,000 years thereafter, Scotland was far behind England in economic and cultural development, because England had the advantage of tying into the whole Roman civilization, and everything that it had created, to some extent, percolated down through the British. That doesn't mean the British were happy with the Romans being there. You know, 1,000 years later, Churchill could say, we owe London to Rome, but that's 1,000 years later, and Churchill didn't have to go through what those people went through. So I'm not saying this is good for the people who were there, but in the longer run, of course, England became what it was because the Romans came. And Scotland finally developed only after England conquered Scotland, and then the culture and the development in England then could spread into Scotland as well.
Well, does this suggest then that in addressing poverty in today's world, there ought to be a latter-day reincarnation of imperialism or colonialism in some form?
No, because I think politically it's impossible. I hear from the perverse parts of some independent nations, they say that they were better off under colonialism and so on. That isn't in the cards. The people who are in the imperialist nations don't want to take on that.
But some would say that there is the functional equivalent of that in the operation of the multinational corporation today. Do you see that, the operation of the multinational corporation, as help or hindrance to the generation of wealth in developing countries?
Well, in those countries, the multinational corporations very often not only pay more money than the local industry pays, but it brings in skills that don't exist and creates industries that never were there before. To that extent, I think they are a source of the transmission of international human capital. To that extent, yes.
Now, this excerpt is taken from the book Intellectuals and Race by Dr. Thomas Sowel. In addition to the inherent geographic advantages that Western Europe has had over Eastern Europe, for example, more navigable waterways leading to the open seas, with Western European rivers and harbours not being frozen over, as often or as long in winter as rivers and harbours in Eastern Europe, due to the warming effect of the Gulf Stream on Western Europe. Another major historic advantage growing out of geography is that Western Europe was more readily accessible to invasion by Roman conquerors. Despite the ruthless slaughters in those conquests and the subsequent brutal oppressions by the Roman overlords, among the lasting advantages which the Roman conquests brought to Western Europe were Roman letters, so that Western European languages had written versions centuries before the languages of Eastern Europe did. To the enormous advantages of literacy, as such, Western Europeans had the further advantage of a far greater accumulation of written knowledge in their languages, even after the languages of Eastern Europe began to develop written versions, but still had not yet caught up with the centuries-long accumulations of knowledge written in Western European languages. Literacy was not the only thing that moved from West to East in Europe. So did coins, printing presses, castles, crossbows, paved streets, and vaccinations, among other economic and social advances. But all of this took time, sometimes centuries. Moreover, people from Western Europe, Germans, Jews and others, were often a majority of the population in Eastern European cities in earlier centuries, while Slavs remained a huge majority in the surrounding countrysides. For example, before 1312 the official records of the city of Krakow were kept in German, and the transition, at that point, was to Latin. Only decades later did Poles become a majority of the population in Krakow. The towns of medieval East Central Europe were often cultural enclaves of foreigners, again, mostly Germans, but with many Jews as well, and, in the Balkans, Greeks and Armenians, joined in later centuries by Turks. In short, there has been for centuries, not only a disparity between the opportunities and advances in the two halves of Europe, but great disparities within Eastern Europe itself, between the indigenous peoples of the region and the transplanted Western Europeans living in Eastern Europe, the Baltic and the Balkans. Neither genes nor discrimination are necessary to explain this situation, though some intellectuals and politicians have chosen to claim that the differences have been due to race and others have chosen to blame social injustices. Many other racial and other groups in many other parts of the world have likewise ended up with large disparities in opportunities and achievements, for reasons that range across a wide spectrum and cannot be reduced to genes or injustices. Thank you for watching this presentation to the end. Please don't forget to like, share.
That's a very interesting history lesson right there. I'm not too familiar with the Romans and the British and all that history up in there, so I can't really too much speak on that, but it's definitely very interesting. You know, and it's very interesting to know that he knows so much, you know, about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, y'all inform us
We need to dive deeper
on that history lesson right there. If you guys know about the history lesson, leave some comments down below. Let us, you know, get us familiar with it. You know what I'm saying? Cause we're going to definitely look into that because it's pretty interesting to me. One of my favorite, it's going to sound stupid, but one of my favorite classes in school was history.
Really?
You know, I love watching the History Channel and you know, stuff like that. I like learning about what used to happen back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the universe, you know, and you know, all the, you know, planets and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'll be curious on things and stuff like that. Like my mind thinks deep, so I can literally have a whole video just talking about, you know, how deep my mind goes and thoughts like that. But anyway, that's for another day. So anyway, let's jump into some shout outs.
Okay.
No, I was playing.
First shout out.
I was playing. No, but how do you feel though?
Very deep.
Yeah.
It just I know that I want to catch up on history. You know, history wasn't one of my favorite subjects in school. I love science. I was never like into history like that.
Right. So your thing was science then. Okay. Okay. So you like to know like about science, like what did you what intrigued you with science? Was it like
Just
like the DNA thing or the
just all of it.
okay,
Mixing.
so as a whole.
Right. I love like chemistry and
Right.
mixing things together.
Right.
and-
See what happens and all that
yeah,
kind of stuff. Okay.
I
Gotcha.
love things like that.
Okay. All right. So well, anything else you want to add then?
We just need to go deeper. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I want to do some more Thomas Sowell though.
Yeah.
You know, because he's very interesting.
Right.
You know, like I said,
Informative.
right, and I like history like that. So, you know, even if we don't do it on here, I'm probably go just in my own spare time, just kind of look at some of his little videos and stuff like that. So anyway, you want to do some shout outs now?
Okay. First shout out goes to Abby Ray. What's up, Abby Ray?
Abby Ray, shout out to you. Hope you enjoyed that Thomas Sowell, and happy Friday to you.
Yeah, happy.
You know what I'm saying?
Friday got here so quick.
Fast, very fast.
Second shout out goes to Samantha McCloskey. What's up, Samantha McCloskey?
Samantha, what's going on with you? Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
Thank you for joining us. We definitely appreciate you guys.
Yes, we do.
You know, we love you guys, man. And to all our real family members
Yes.
that really do support us, that don't judge us and make assumptions on us, we love y'all. Man.
Yes, we do.
You know what I'm saying?
And you have stuck it out throughout everything. We really genuinely appreciate you.
Right.
They were there.
Yeah, through it all.
You guys know us so well.
Through it all.
Right.
And you guys know the ones that's been there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we know we recognize some of the names.
Oh yeah.
From way back when we started.
Yeah,
so
yes.
you know, we know the real ones.
Yes, the
Trust
day
us.
ones.
Right. So we love y'all, man.
Yes, we do.
Peace.
Peace. Just being silly.